Hello friends, this video is about the 1990s. I'm particularly going to focus on the top 5 films of the decade, but I also want to cover about what it used to be like in the 90s in terms of a Bollywood perspective. And to start things off, in the early 1990s there was no internet, and even if there was not much content out there. So there was no internet for us. If we had to watch a Bollywood film, we either had to go to the cinema halls or we had to wait for it to come on TV. Which could take a lot of months. There was also an option of purchasing video cassettes. If those of you remember, we used to have a VCR player, and they were quite bulky actually. And one of the constraints that I found with video cassettes was that the duration was always around about 3 hours. So if you had a film that was longer than 3 hours, you kind of had to become a movie editor and edit a lot of the songs or scenes that you didn't like, and then keep recording it, usually from one of the television sources. So it was definitely a different era. Towards the late 90s we started getting VCDs, and that made life a little bit easy. Piracy kind of started creeping into the industry, and more on that later. I think piracy is still there, but not as prevalent as it used to be in those late 90s periods with the VCD boom. But gone are the VCRs, they're no longer there. Gone are the audio cassettes, players as well. It's all digital now, and I think it's quite good because content can be accessed a lot faster than it could in the 1990s. From a Bollywood perspective, what was Bollywood doing? The primary focus, I think, for Bollywood films back in those days was the romantic and drama genre. I didn't see much of action. There was action, primarily. You remember Akshay Kumar and a few other actors doing Sunny Deol doing a lot of action films, but the core of the 90s decade, if you say, was romantic films, and infused with a lot of drama and those iconic songs that we've gotten used to. So that was the era. Now, one of the things that I've observed that is different from the 90s is that the actors are making far less films. There were actors in the 90s that were making 7 to 8 films. I remember Govinda, Jackie Shroff, even Salman Khan. They were coming out with films every 2 or 3 months, and that doesn't happen now. A film comes out probably in 1 year or 2 years, and I wonder why. Is it because that actors want to be more selective, they don't want to be overexposed, or is it that filmmaking is taking a lot more longer than it used to do in the 1990s? I don't really know, so if you do, please let me know. It's one of those questions that keeps puzzling me. So first off the ranks is Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. This film came out in October 1998, and what a smash hit. One of the biggest blockbusters of the 90s decade. Still has quite a huge recall value. Big love triangle. Shah Rukh Khan had cemented his position as the Badshah of Bollywood, and this was another proof, huge successful film. And if you look at the stats, huge film. In 1998, it collected 47 crore at the box office. Now that was huge, some small films that do 47 crore, even now we go gaga over, and this film did that in 1998, 21 years ago. It also kick-started Rani Mukherjee's career. She had acted in a few films before that, but this was really the one that got her a huge limelight, and really, she went on to have a successful Bollywood career. Now at number 4, we have an unusual film, and not many people remember this film, but Border was a massive, massive hit in 1997. It was a big multi-star film, and really got us going as a nation, based on the 1971 Indo-Pak War. And you're seeing a lot of these films now, in the last 2 or 3 years. They're really trying to tap into the nationalism and patriotic angle. If you look at Akshay Kumar, he's doing a few of those, and there are many other actors. Uri, which was one of the biggest hits of this year, also based on a similar theme, and you can really see that these kind of films get the audiences going. But in 1997, that was rare for this film to achieve. Now, a little bit of trivia regarding this film. A lot of top Bollywood actors like Shah Rukh, Amir, Salman were considered and approached for this film, but none of them agreed to do it, and I think they did make a mistake, because they would have been a part of a historical film that did amazingly well at the box office. At number 3 is a film from Amir Khan and Karishma Kapoor, another romantic film with a lot of drama in it. The film's name is Raja Hindustani, and it released in 1996. Now, Raja Hindustani I watched as a kid and I didn't like it. I thought it was just another old film that came and went, but I failed to understand this box office significance. It was a juggernaut at the box office, and it released with another Sunny Deol starrer. I don't really remember. It was either Ghayal or Ghatak. I think it was Ghatak, because Ghayal had come out earlier. And to release on the same day, both the films turned out to be super hits, by the way, with Raja Hindustani obviously turning out to be an all-time blockbuster. And a little bit of trivia in terms of how much it collected at the box office. Bear in mind, we're looking at 1996. It collected as much as 43 crores, so again, a significant total, and huge blockbuster for Amir Khan. At number 2, we have another Shah Rukh Khan film, Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. Now, this film was huge. I mean, there was a theater that was running this film only until recently, so it ran for about 20 odd years there. I think Maratha Mandir in Mumbai somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. And it's an iconic film. You know, when you think about the romance genre, you always think about Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge as a film that comes to your memory first. And it released in 1995. Obviously, Shah Rukh Khan and Kajol became a super hit pair. They had released Bazigar before this, I think, and Karan Arjun. So I think it was their third or fourth film together, but huge blockbuster. I'm not going to talk much about the story. I think the whole world knows about it, but the songs were super hit. And the film collected 53 crore, 53 in 1995. You know, that equates to probably about 450 to 460 crore in today's time. So huge blockbuster. You know, this is one of the, I think it'll come in the top 5 films of all time if we look at footfalls and net adjusted collections. And at number 1, it should be no surprise, Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, a film that came out in 1994, completely shook the box office. I think remembering Hum Aapke Hain Kaun as a kid, you know, I remember the ladies all working as housewives used to finish up their work early in the morning by about 9:30, 10, used to catch the buses and run to the theaters. This is a film that ran for months and months. I think it ran for about 7-8 months, and used to be full house for the first 3 months, something ridiculous like that. And huge impact, you know, the drama that was there, the Rajshri banner, Salman Khan coming back after Maine Pyar Kiya with them, and that was a huge blockbuster of the 80s. In 1994, it collected 73 crore. Now you can imagine what that equates to in terms of today's time. I think it comes out to over 700 crore or something ridiculous like that. And in terms of maximum footfalls, I think this is it. It's probably even higher than Sholay, although these facts can't be verified. But huge blockbuster, and it wasn't so much a big blockbuster for Salman Khan as it was for Madhuri Dixit. Obviously, it adds to both their totals. But you know, when we talk about female-oriented films and films in the recent past doing well, you really got to look at Hum Aapke Hain Kaun and figure out that it had been done 25 years ago as well. So, you know, nothing new here for Bollywood. Now that we've looked at the top 5 films, what I want to focus on is some of the characteristics of these films, and you're going to find them quite interesting. For example, most of these films were around the 3-hour mark. You know, Hum Aapke Hain Kaun being the longest at 3 hours and 26 minutes. So definitely people didn't care about the length back then. And also one thing that you got to note is a lot of the people say that the Bollywood industry is declining because footfalls are declining. Back in the day, there were so many people that used to go and flock theaters, and now only if you get half as much, you're actually going to do well. And I want to make a point here that, you know, you're talking about the 90s era. There were not many entertainment options for us. You know, as growing up, there were hardly any restaurants. There were hardly any places to go out and have fun. You know, yes, there was cricket that you could play outside, but other than that, I don't remember how people used to socialize. You know, there were not many pubs or bars. And yes, the adults will say there were, but not for me. And basically what I'm trying to say is that there were not many forms of entertainment, and one of the primary forms of entertainment was Bollywood. So, you know, people didn't have many options. Whereas if you look at today, there are so many options. They're spoiled for choice. Competition is fierce. There's so many films out there. You have competition from Hollywood. You have from all other, you know, from South. I mean, how many of us had heard of South cinema in the 1990s? Probably nobody. Not from the Bollywood guys anyways. So when they say that footfalls have declined, and yes, you know, I said in one of my previous videos that quality has come down. Yes, it has. You know, the films are not being made with that level of detail as they were back then. but it's wrong to say that interest has declined. It's just that people have got more options and are valuing content and quality more rather than just going to theaters. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video about the 90s, and if you want me to post a video on a certain topic, do let me know. I take about 2 or 3 days and I can turn it around. Or if you want anything else, you know, feel free to pop in your comments, and please keep subscribing. I don't have many subscribers. It's a relatively new channel, but I do intend to grow it, and I do intend to provide content that not many others are providing out there. So please keep watching. Until next time.